Bikes have been a part of my life, as you know from the introduction, and if you listen to my first icebreaker, since forever, pretty much. But up until I was in my mid-20s, bicycles only played a role of fun and recreation, aside from maybe working at a bike shop in high school. But, well, who am I kidding? Bikes will always be fun for me. I learned long ago that a bad day surrounded by bikes is better than a bad day anywhere else. So, after college, I moved to Chicago, moved to the city proper after growing up in the suburbs all my life. Chicago was a big change from suburban living and where I went to college in Green Bay. A lot different. And I quickly found that bicycles were a quick and cheap way of getting around the city. My fun bike that I rode all the time was a dirt jumper, which isn't, if you know what a dirt jump bike is, not all that efficient. Very low seat, very low gear ratio. It's made for jumping and like riding skate parks. So it's not something for getting around. I would ride that 7 miles around the city to get all over the place. So this was in the mid-2000s. Fixed gear bikes were all the rage. You remember Premium Rush. It was a movie back in the 2000s about the messenger scene. So I got a fixed gear bike. I still have that bike to this day. I don't know how integral the frame is anymore since I rode it through 5 Chicago winters, but it'll be a part of my life forever. This is the bike that I rode to get all over the city. I lived, when I first moved to Chicago, on the north edge of the city, and all my friends lived about 7 miles closer to downtown. So I would ride my bike to do everything. You know, when you're 20, you're going to bars, you're going to restaurants, you go to concerts, anything a 20-year-old does. That's what I did on my bike. So, fast forward a couple more years, I have left my corporate job in the suburbs. I am in this unimaginable job now, working in the city, working in the bicycle industry, my dream. And my bicycle tastes have matured a bit. At this point, I get attracted to this type of racing called cyclocross. If you don't know what cyclocross is, in Chicago at least, it's kind of equivalent of a bowling league for bicycles. And it's great for a city because you can do these races in just a little city park. You do these laps around the park and get off your bike, carry it over these barriers, and then there's the hand-ups. Hand-ups are when spectators or teammates come and bring you something to grab while you're riding. This could be beef jerky, this could be bacon, this could be beer. This is a fun environment of camaraderie. And the bikes are a bit more efficient as city bikes than the fixed gear I was riding. You have gears, you have 2 brakes, not just 0 or 1. And you have big tires that smooth out those city streets. So, cyclocross bike became my bike of choice to get around the city. Around this time, Colorado was calling. And I was looking to move to the city. I probably said this in my last icebreaker, but if Chicago had mountains, I would never leave. That isn't going to happen anytime soon. So So off to Colorado I went, dragged my girlfriend at the time to Colorado with me. This was 2012. In 2014, we bought a house. In 2016, her in-laws, her parents, my in-laws, who had lived in Chicago all their lives, moved out to Colorado to hang out with us. And then in 2017, you probably see the trajectory, we had a son. Around this time, I was also seeing bicycles playing a different role in my life. The culture of bicycles in Colorado Springs is different than it was in Chicago. And I wanted to make an impact in making bicycles a reasonable form of transportation so people feel comfortable getting around the whole city by bike and using it to go shopping, to go to restaurants, go to bars, do whatever they do in their daily life. Bicycles also play a family role for me because now I use a cargo bike to bring my child to daycare multiple times a day or week. Once you can make your passion play all these roles of fun, family, and advocacy, that's when you turn your passion into a love. Thank you.
Cully. So, and do you have a timer's report?
Yes.